really overwhelmed right now. Thank you. Thank you for choosing me and trusting me. Thank you for being so good to us. And thank you for allowing me to be part of your lives. As Yaakov Avinu said, Katonti nikol chasadim nikol emes asher asisa sabdecha Kadosh Baruch Hu. I feel so unworthy of all the kindness and blessing that you bestowed upon us, and that's the feeling that we feel this evening. I do want to thank the committee for bringing in a comedian tonight, because I don't have to be funny. There's a lot of pressure to be funny. Once someone made a bar mitzvah, and they said, Rabbi, we're having family come in who appreciates some jokes, so can you tell some funny things in your drasha? I try to be funny all the time, it's not so easy. So tonight, I don't have to be funny, you'll get your laughs with a comedian, so thank you. I do want to thank Rabbi Wagner, my Rabbi, for coming this evening, and the shul for making that happen. I know the travel is not easy, and to leave the kollel and your family is not easy. The truth is, I owe everything to Rabbi. If not for Rabbi Wagner, I would not be standing here tonight. I wouldn't even be sitting over there tonight. Where would I be? If you pay my father enough money, he might answer that question. That could be a good shul fundraiser. Someone take notes. Where would I be? I don't know. Probably at the Knick game, to be honest. But Rabbi, I owe everything, so thank you. And thank you for the words, and thank you for being here. It's really hard to be here without Lois Goldsmith, who laid the nefesh. She put everything she had into making this dinner a success. And I know how badly Lyndon, Zichrono Livracha, wanted to be here. When he had surgery last Friday, we were away, and I texted Lois to see how he was doing. And she wrote to me, and I quote, hopefully going home by Sunday. And he says he wants to be at the inaugural dinner, so hopefully Hashem will agree. Unfortunately, he did not, and the simcha is incomplete without them here, and I hope and I ask that Lyndon will be a Meil Yosher for all of us tonight. The Mishnah Avos says, "V'stakel b'shlosha dvarim." Look, contemplate three things. Ve'ein atah bali de'avera, and you won't come to sin. Three things to keep in mind. Da me'ayin basa, know from where you come. Ula'an ataholech, and where you're going. And tonight, I want to focus on those two items. Me'ayin basa, from where do you come? From where do I come? From where do we, the shul? Where does the shul come? And then la'an ataholech, where are we going? I want to tell you which individuals and what experiences have molded the Rav that I strive to be and hope to become. And I want to discuss where I think the shul came from. So me'ayin basa, where do you come? So the first answer to that question is from my dear parents. My parents raised us to take responsibility. The word is achrayus. Achrayus, responsibility to schools, to shuls, to community organizations, and to individuals. They were always involved in doing for other people. They built their shul in Tzachayim in Queens. They were the founding families of the school, Har Torah. I vividly remember rides to Tomchei Shabbos, involvement in Emunah, and helping people get jobs. And what's remarkable is that my three brothers who are here, I'm so appreciative that they're here with my dear sisters-in-law, all of them are involved in some capacity in communal service. My brother Aryeh was the president of the shul. The board of schools involved in the alumni of his yeshiva. Ezra, many people here know the incredible work he does at Shari Tzion. And my brother Aaron, who's the chairman of the board at Hank, the school of over 1,000 children. My parents never sat us down and explained this is important. They never gave us a musar, shmooze, charged us to take responsibility, but they just did it, and they loved it, and they lived it, and it's something that was just natural. When I started to get involved with kids, with coaching, with teaching, it wasn't really a decision. It was something that I just gravitated to. I believe it's because I saw my parents take responsibility for others, responsibility for the community. So Iman Abba, thank you. Thank you for teaching me that, and thank you for creating that me'ayin basa. The second person who really shaped the Rav that I want to be is Rabbi Wagner. And I want to tell you a story. There was a boy in yeshiva, I was in Or Yerushalayim, like many of the other people here. There was a boy in yeshiva who did not learn a word until January. I don't think he stepped foot in the Beis Medrash. He was a huge Jets fan, though. When we were there in yeshiva, 1998, if you remember, the Jets were excellent that year. They were 12-4. They made the AFC Championship game. And Rabbi Wagner went to America in January to recruit the high school boys. And he came back with a gift for this young man who had not been in the Beis Medrash at that point. What was the gift? The gift was a copy of Sports Illustrated, because the Jets were on the cover, probably the last time they were on the cover. He brought him a copy of Sports Illustrated. Now, everyone here might not appreciate this. What's the big deal? It was Sports Illustrated. But yeshiva was not encouraging, advocating the boys to read Sports Illustrated. First of all, you can't flip them out if they're reading Sports Illustrated. And furthermore, the unhealthy obsession with sports in some high school boys is not great. Why did he bring in the Sports Illustrated? What was he telling him? He was showing the boy, I care for you for who you are. I care for you for where you're at right now, not the future Talmud Chacham you would become. He happens to be 44 years old, learning in Kollel still 17 hours a day. He's a massive Talmud Chacham. That's really besides the point. This was such a powerful lesson of being a Rebbe and being a Rav. We obviously want people to learn and to grow and have a heightened level of Shmiras HaMitzvos and Ruchnius spirituality. That's not why we care for people. We care for people for who they are, for where they are. The other thing I got from Rabbi Wagner is to appreciate learning. I did not enjoy learning in high school. Rabbi Wagner perhaps has some stories about my interview back in 12th grade. It didn't talk to me, and he made learning so sweet. I can't remember a conversation about it. It was just so natural. It was Hanechamadim Mizav Mipaz Rav. It was a Torah that was more precious than gold. Umesukim Midvash, and sweeter than honey. And at that point, I don't know if I made the decision consciously, but if I could appreciate and learn Torah, I want to share that with other people, and that put me on the path to learn and to try to share the sweetness and the preciousness of Torah with others. So that was the second step in the Me'ayin Basa, from where do I come, and I'm forever grateful to Rabbi Wagner for that. Fast forward many years, Shoshi and I moved to Passaic, and I joined the shul Kahal Yereim, where our Rav Shmuel Berkowitz, now is the Ketzad Livracha, was an incredible Rav. 6 months after we moved, I was having surgery to remove a polyp from my vocal cords. I had been in the shul 6 months. We weren't yet close. We knew each other. We spoke. I asked some questions. The night before surgery, he called me, 11 o'clock, and he said, Sariel, I want to let you know that the Skolena Rebbe, who was one of the elder and more righteous Hasidic Rebbes, I gave him your name, and he'll be davening for you tomorrow morning during your operation. The care that our Rav showed every person in the shul was legendary, and showed me what a Rav could do and mean for people. That's part of my Me'ayin Basa. This was rounded out 8 years ago when I came here to Highland Park Edison and had the zechus, the greatest zechus of my life, to work for Rabbi Luben. Rabbi Luben's care for every person is absolutely legendary. He taught me by example, there's nothing you should not be willing to do. Time, energy, sleep, money, nothing at all gets in the way of helping a member of the shul, helping a member of Klal Yisrael. But Luben also taught me how to tame my passion a little bit and to understand the impact of actions on the sensitivities and feelings of other people. And there's no chance that I would be where I am today and on the path to where I want to be without Rabbi Luben, and I'm forever grateful for Rabbi Luben for that and so much more. So thank you. There is one more individual who led my Me'ayin Basa from where do I come, and that's Shoshi. We were living in Passaic, 6 blocks from her practice, which was successful and enjoyable. Moving away from that and taking this on with a full-time job was something that she should have said no. Okay, she did say no many times, but let's be honest, your parents were never going to move to Passaic, so this has worked out. We're so grateful that my dear in-laws are here and part of the shul, and have become such a close chavra with so many people here. The sacrifice that she had then and continues to have is in allowing me to do this, allowing us to do this, is remarkable. My mother-in-law, just this Shabbos, reminded me that the first year we were married was during Svirah, and I grew a little bit of a beard. And my mother-in-law asked me if I was planning on keeping the beard. My answer, which impressed her, I don't remember this, was, we have not decided yet. Shows you we've been on this journey together as a team, and although I'm usually the one in the spotlight, you've been there supporting me and encouraging me. Your insights are usually, or always, spot on, and I look forward to continuing this journey at Me'ah V'Esrim Shana. That explains the ayin bus of me. What about the shul? Where does the shul come from? How did the shul develop? So this shul was built from scratch by individuals, many of whom are present here tonight. They started by schlepping chairs and turning a gym into a shul every Shabbos and building the magnificent shul that we have here. They took out second and third mortgages to build our shul, and they continue to help it operate. There are dozens of volunteers who do everything and everything. Consider this dinner. It was put together without an office manager, a secretary, a business manager, or an executive director. It's remarkable. A special thanks to Penny Kaplan and Sarah Scott, Eric Shimoni, El Razel, Lois, obviously, Steve Wasserman, Jacob Eskin, Ari Wellner, and many others who were involved. From day one, the committee told me, Rabbi, we'll tell you what time to show up, and we'll make you proud to be our own. They were so right. Thank you. From my experiences, this really was common for that generation. The generation of children of Holocaust survivors, I believe, built much of the Orthodox infrastructure that we have today in America. Survivors came to this country in the 1940s and 1950s, and they were not in position to build. They were trying to make it. They needed to acclimate to this country, make ends meet, and try to build a family. They didn't have the money or the emotional energy, capacity, strength to build. But their children, who are now raised to be religious, they were well educated, they became successful, and schools and yeshivos needed to be founded, and shuls needed to be built. And they built. They built schools, they built shuls, our shul and shuls across the country. And when you build something with your own hands, when you sacrifice and take out a second mortgage and really have Mesiras Nefesh to build something, you become so much more invested in it. It's why the founders of our shul still, today, work dozens of hours a week to help our shul operate. It's why they are still buying the soda for Shalosh Shudas, and until recently, we're still making the meatballs for the simplest Torah Kiddush. Because they built the shul. Our shul, Me'ayin Basa, are those incredible individuals who built the unbelievable shul that we have today. The problem is the next line of the Mishnah. La'ana taholech. So where do we go from here? The shul is built. It's magnificent. It's vibrant, with members in their 20s and in their 90s. There are shiurim every day of the week. There's a lot going on. So where are we going? What's the plan for the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, and 30 years? Is it just to maintain the status quo? We have a good shul. Let's help it continue to run. Make sure it stays vibrant. Yeah, there are enhancements that are needed. There are improvements. I'm sure Arcady will hit you up for money at some point about that, as he should, and I'll help you. But is that all it is? Wait, la'ana taholech. Where are we going? It can't be to maintain the status quo. The Mishnah, the Pasuk says, sorry, v'kol banayech limudei Hashem, all your children And the Gemara tells us, we say it Friday night, Atikri banayich ala bonayich. Don't read it as your sons, but as builders. We're here to build the Jewish community, to build yeshivos and shuls. So what are we to build when it's already built? I think this is a question we need to answer. It's a question that keeps me up at night. La'ana taholech. Where are we going? Now, anyone who's moved here in the last 25 years and came to a built shul certainly has to answer that question. What shul did you build? What shul are you going to build? Where's your atikri banayich ala bonayich? Where's your sense of building? Where's your la'ana taholech? But even those who built a shul, it's not a bucket list item. You build a shul. We're meant to always build, to be holy. We're mahalchim. It's not a one-time thing. So every person here, what's our bonayich? What's our la'ana taholech? Where are you going when we have an amazing, magnificent, vibrant shul? So there are a lot of answers, I'm sure. And I'm sure if we go around the room, we could come up with many answers. I'd like to share what I think. In December of 1976, Rabbi Malitzky, Zecher Tzaddik Livracha, was asked to speak at the Hachtara, the rabbinic installation of a Rav Shlomo Breslauer in their shul in Monsey. I'm sure that Hachtara was very similar to this. Their food probably wasn't as good. I can bet you they didn't have a comedian, but they probably had more speeches than we had tonight. Rabbi Malitzky at that point had been a Rabbi and a Rosh Hashiva in Torah Vodas for decades, but he knew what it meant to be a Rav, and he understood communities. Rabbi Yaakov Zecher Tzaddik Livracha was a Rav in the shtetl in Lithuania, Sivitian, if I'm pronouncing that correct, for 11 years before he came to America. He was a Rav in Seattle. He was a shul rabbi in Toronto. So he knew shuls. So he spoke at this rabbinic installation in 1976. And he said something there then, which I think is remarkable, and I think it answers our question. The question of la'ana taholech, where are you going? In Parshas Vayigash, Yosef HaTzadik is getting ready for his brothers to come down to Egypt. And the Torah, he had control of the entire land. And the Torah tells us that before they came down, he transferred the people from city to city, one end of the border of Mitzrayim, Egypt, to the other. Rashi writes, Hoshiv shel ir zu v'chaberta. He mixed up the cities. What that means is that he took a few people from this city, a few people from that city, a few people from the third city, and he put them all together. He didn't keep cities together. Mixed everybody up. Rashi says that this Lodia Shimchol Shel Yosef HaTzadik, this reflects the brilliance of Yosef. Why? So when the brothers would come down, they wouldn't feel that they were in someone else's land. They wouldn't feel that they were in Gullus. They would feel that they had a place. If they were coming into a city with a distinct culture and identity and feeling, we would feel like strangers. So no one had one place. No one had a culture. No city had a distinct identity, so the brothers could come down and they would feel comfortable. Rabbi Yaakov says that this is one of the great acts of kindness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in this last gullus here, last exile in America. There's no real history. There's no real community. If you could take the oldest American, he can't deny that we come from another country. The best he can say is, yeah, a few hundred years ago, we came on the Mayflower. In fact, at NORPAC last week, dear friend Brian Katz mentioned to one of the congressmen that he was a fifth-generation American. And the other people in our group, they had their mouths wide open. Fifth-generation American? We're here, says Rabbi Yaakov, in America, that we don't feel, I don't know if you would say this today, we don't feel like we're in Gullus. We don't feel like we don't belong. Nobody belongs. Everyone belongs. We can have a place here. But says Rabbi Yaakov, there's one major negative aspect to that. He says we've lost the tzura, the concept and feel of a kehila that they had in Europe. We're here without a connection to what came before us, since we're all new. Communities in Europe, had been around for centuries with a distinct and rich history. He says, if you go back to the times of the Gemara, there was always a strong concept of kihila, of minhag makom. There are countless mishnayos that say makom shenagu, a place that had a minhag. There was a real minhag makom, a place had an identity to it. In fact, the Gemara describes that Rav would travel from Surah to Nardai. He would see actions of an individual. He would be a Mechal Shabbos. He wouldn't let him shecht an animal in his city, but he knew that the city he was in, it was totally fine. You had distinct halachic workings and distinct cultures. Each place had an identity. There was Asrei de Rav, Asrei de Shmuel, Makom Shenagu. And he says that here that's been lost. Here we have denominations within Orthodoxy. There's shuls that are more modern, there's shuls that are more to the right, there's shuls of a quieter davening, a noisier davening, better programming, more exciting groups, some with a better kiddush or a weaker kiddush, and unfortunately too many people will choose a shul based on that. But to have a real kihila, that's been lost. So we have a shul. We have a beautiful building. There's no mortgage. We have a great youth program. Excellent scholars in residence. Great guest chazanim. Our kiddush is very good. Our board is strong, led by an incredible president. We have a decent rabbi. I believe the la'an ataholech. Where are we going? The al-tikri banayich ela bonayich. The build is to build a sense of kihila. I believe that's our challenge. Our shul can become a place where they will say, Makom Shenagu. That's a shul that has a way, that has a culture, that has a distinct identity. It should be a place where there are ideals and values that are automatic, and anyone and everyone knows the character, understands the Makom Shenagu. Let's be a shul that's Makom Shenagu, where everyone's included. Everyone's welcome, regardless of what they look like or their level of observance. We should have a shul where someone walks in and within 2 minutes, there are 10 people going over to say hello, even during davening. It should be a place where people are learning in the Beis Medrash from early in the morning until late at night. Or Torah's Makom Shenagu, the Beis Medrash is vibrant, Yomam V'Layla, a shul with learning opportunities for men and women, young and old, advanced and beginners. Or Torah should be a place where it's a beautiful davening every Shabbos, which is inspiring, uplifting, quiet, not too long, every Shabbos. It should be a place, Makom Shenagu, where no woman or man living alone, a divorcee or a widow, ever has a Shabbos meal alone. Is always invited out. Makom Shenagu, or Torah is a kihila where every person is cared for. We should be a kihila where there's not a person who even has a thought to send a child to public school because they don't have money or struggles to get through Yom Tov. Because our identity, our makom shenagu, asrei derav, is a place where this kihila comes first and we have each other's back. A kihila means that a person has yurtzeit, maybe be mevater, and give up the amud because it'll be better for the kihila's davening. Because when you're a kihila, the tzibur comes first. It should be a kihila where chesed is pouring out of the building. It should be a shul where children want to come to shul every single week. And finally, this should be a makom shenagu, a place where your married children will want to come and move back, even if it means living near their parents. We'll send the video to Miriam and Matt. This is my answer to La'anat HaHolech. That's where we're going. We have a shul. It's built, yes, improved, enhanced, but to build a real sense of a kihila which is not really found. In fact, someone told me I couldn't find a tshuva. The Moshe Feinstein's Zeh Chesed Baruch says the only place where there's a real minhag makom was Elizabeth with her uptights. They created a makom shenagu. Let's build that kihila. Is it an ambitious goal? Maybe. And I know I can't do this alone. And I'm going to ask you for help. Every person in this room, every member of our shul can help us, al tikri banayich ela bonayich, to help build this kihila into something that's so special and magnificent, l'shem u'l'tiferes. So we know me'ayin basa, And we know La'anat Holes, but there's a third thing the Mishnah says that we have to look at. And that is L'fnei mi'ata asid litein din v'cheshbon. It's for our Kadosh Baruch Hu. We do this for Hashem and in front of Hashem. And I close with a tefillah, a prayer to the one who's asid litein, we are asid litein din v'cheshbon. They should grant us the requisite strength, the energy, and bundles of siyata d'shmaya, divine assistance, to be able to accomplish all of this. Be'ez Hashem, thank you for joining me, and thank you for the opportunity.